This is a comparison of the Leatherman MUT versus the Leatherman Skeletool. I had a Skeletool CX, which I had for about 5 or 6 years. That's this right here, before I finally broke it. I always felt like the jaws were a little bit weak on this particular tool, but otherwise I was really happy with it. And I basically wanted a heavier duty version of this thing. I really love it because, unlike other multi-tools, instead of having rows and rows and rows of tools all lined up, it had pretty smart integration of different functions kind of into the overall design. And it had fewer tools than a lot of other things too. So just a quick overview. The Skeletool has a clip, and this clip right here doubles as a bottle opener. Pocket clip, which is really important to me in the way I use these. I had a holder right here for a screw bit, or for a screwdriver bit, just like that. Some people complained about it falling out, but I didn't ever have mine fall out after 6 years of use. On the other side, we've got just a simple knife. I had the Skeletool CX, so I had the half serrated blade on mine, and then the screwdriver bit holder here, and of course there's, they call it 3 different tools in the pliers, the needle nose pliers, regular pliers, and then I think they even call these 2 different wire cutters, but basically it's just a pair of pliers. So I really like this. It was great. I always felt it was a little on the weak side, mostly when I would try to torque with the jaws they would break, and indeed that's the failure that happened. I was twisting out some tent stakes, granted they were big tent stakes, but twisting out tent stakes and it broke nonetheless after, like I said, 6 years. So I looked around a lot to try to find something that would be an adequate replacement to this, and I looked at SOG and Gerber, who are the big competitors to the Leatherman, and basically the thing that they all do, including Leatherman, is they all just make these tools that have all of the features lined up in a row. So you've got the bottle opener right next to the can opener, right next to the saw and the knife blade, or tweezers, or, well, I guess not the tweezers, but pretty much anything else you could think of. And I really don't like that design because you can't really use it with a glove. With something like this, where the only fold-out tool you have is right here, and you can open it with your thumb really easy, I really like that. And the screwdriver is always exposed. Pretty much, when this is all folded up, it tucks in like this, so the screwdriver is kind of tucked in. So I really like that design. And I looked around, and the only thing that I could find that was similar was the Leatherman MUT. Now this is a military-specific tool. That's their target market, and I'm not in the military, and I don't really own many firearms, and I don't shoot very often. It's not really an interest of mine, to say the least, I guess. But I felt like this was the right tool for me. I'm just going to go over the firearm-specific tools, because those were the biggest concern to me. The first thing is this threaded hole is their, oh, I don't remember what it was, but they say that this is one of their firearm-specific tools. It was either the barrel cleaner or some other part. This punch is also firearm-specific for dismantling a gun, and this blade here is a carbon scraper. It's not sharp. See, I didn't cut myself. So it's not really a blade, it's a carbon scraper for cleaning a gun. Basically, I don't think that these are a huge weight or size hit, so I accepted them. And the final firearms tool is actually, you can take the punch off. So if you're really concerned about weight, it's actually really easy to just take the punch off, and then you have this, which is the, I think this is the threaded piece that they say is for the barrel cleaners. I don't remember exactly what this one was for, but this was a firearm specific. You thread something into there for cleaning your gun or dismantling your gun or whatever. This tool also came with this wrench, which is a scope adjustment wrench. So it has, I guess the 3/8 is a standard size for scopes, and this is a scope adjustment tool. I don't really know much about it, because I don't really need it, because I don't have a gun with a scope. So, besides that, the rest of it is pretty much what I was looking for. The big thing is that it is huge. It's quite a bit larger. It's really hard to see in the video, but it's big. Here, let's do a blade comparison, because that should probably illustrate. Here, hold on a second. The Skeletool's blade is just small in comparison. So that kind of gives you an idea of the scale. To be honest, I would probably like... The perfect tool for me would probably be something between the Skeletool, which is a little small for me, and the MUT, which is a little big. But right now I'm going to stick with the MUT because I like it overall, and now I'm going to go over the features. So the first thing is, same thing as the Skeletool, except much bigger. I mean, basically it's the big brother of the Skeletool. It seems like that was their design intent. So it has bigger pliers. It has replaceable wire cutters, so there's hard wire cutters in here, and then there's wire cutters, and then over here there's a stranded wire cutter and a crimp, which is actually pretty nice to have. I like having the crimp there because I occasionally do some electrical work. And like I said before, this threaded hole is on both sides of the pliers. That threaded hole is what makes the part here for cleaning your gun. So basically it's the same thing as the Skeletool. Blade opens, it has the same lock mechanism. The big difference is on the other side, right, so you have the blade here. On the other side, we have a saw. The Skeletool doesn't have a saw. It's something that I always kind of missed a little bit. Occasionally I've been known to cut small branches. The saw would be nice to have. It has the same bottle opener clip style as the Skeletool. The pocket clip is also there, which is in it's a different style. It's in a slightly different place, but it's there, which is important to me. A lot of these multi-tools don't have pocket clips. In addition to that, it has this face, which is a hammer face. Oh, and another gun. This is they call the tip of this thing a round clearing device for M4s or M16s. Basically, I consider it a very low impact on the style and everything else of the tool, and I think you could take it off if you didn't really like it. I think you could take this whole piece off. I haven't really looked into that yet, but I think you can right along this line. Anyways, I know the blade is replaceable, and this is a rope cutter blade specifically. It works pretty well. I tried it out earlier today. What else have we got? So it's, yeah, there's not really ultimately too much different. The big advantage in my mind versus the Skeletool, more than anything else, is let's see, what did I do with it? Is that it has the same style clip here for the screwdriver. So it has the screwdriver, but it has more storage. So this whole thing right here is storage for a screwdriver bit, and you just push that in and then take the bit out. And the great thing about the MUT, and one of the things that I felt was lacking in the Skeletool, is that it has storage for more than just one other bit. So this one just pulls out. So you have these two long ones, and I was curious because I don't know if I really need a long screwdriver bit. So that's what came with the Skeletool right there. Or I'm sorry, that's what came with the Leatherman MUT, is 2 long bits. You got 2 Phillips. It wasn't actually this bit that came with the MUT, it was this one. This one was the one that came with the MUT. So you've got, I think, this is a number 1 Phillips, this is a number 2 Phillips, 1/4 inch flathead, 3/16 flathead. Actually, this one says it's a number 1-2. I don't know what that means. I'm not familiar with that Phillips size. I'm just used to 1 or 2, not 1-2. And then there's this T15 Torx and 7/16 Allen key, and these are all specific to dismantling an M4 or M16. Once again, military-oriented device, or yeah, military-oriented multi-tool. So, anyways, I a while ago bought this Leatherman bit set, and just taking a look at what I could put in my MUT here. As I picked these, I have 4 sizes of Phillips. It says it's a PZ2 and PZ1, and a number 3 and a number 0. So they put the big one and the small one together. And these actually fit. You can fit 6 of these. Actually, I want to keep the Phillips out. I use the Phillips the most, so I usually leave that one out. I put in a 1/8 and 7/16 or 7/64 Allen key. And it's a little tricky with the small one, with the smaller bits to get them in there, but it will definitely hold 2 on that side, and then you can put 2 more on this side. So I'll put kind of my larger flatheads. This is a number or a 1/4 inch and a 7/32 flathead, and then an 1/8 and a 3/32 flathead on that side, and then this locks them in place. And then the 5th one goes in the handle here, so you just slide that in there like that, right until it's in there, and then you can store the 6th bit right in the actual bit holder. So you can hold 6 bits in the MUT versus the Skeletool's 2. Finally, I think this is finally, I don't know if this is a totally necessary thing or not, but it has this clip that just holds it shut. I think it's kind of pointless, but on the other hand, it makes opening, like the force required to open it is pretty light, unlike some other tools. As for durability and ruggedness, because it has 2 blades, I think it's probably going to be a lot stronger. So you've got the 2 blades on this side and the 2 bit holders right along this side. And the grip is, I think it's better than the Skeletool. I always felt like the Skeletool dug into my hand, and this has some two pretty wide areas for gripping. It's a little funky over here, but it's not bad. And I think the bit here can kind of dig into my palm a little bit, but overall, I mean, when you look at the size of that handle versus the size of the handle on the Skeletool, I mean, you can already tell, like, it's so much bigger that you can still just get so much more grip. So if you've had a Skeletool and you're happy with it but thought it was a little light, then this is definitely a heavier duty upgrade. It's more expensive. This was about I think I paid $150 for it, shipped to my door. The Skeletool was $80, so it's about double the cost, but it's about twice as big. I think it's 11 ounces versus the Skeletool is 5, so the Skeletool is a lot lighter. So if you're just going to go hiking, the Skeletool might be the better one. I use this pretty much. I mean, I've used my Skeletool almost every day since I bought it. So I want something that is going to last, something that I can really beat on and abuse. So I think this might be the right tool for my everyday use. The only downsides, like I said, are the gun-specific tools. I wish they'd made a version that wasn't so gun-focused. Not because I have an aversion to guns, but just because I don't do shooting that much. Like, I do have some firearms, but I'm like a occasional hobbyist shooter at best, so having a multi-tool that's specifically to having firearms tools is just completely unnecessary. It's just like, I wouldn't buy a multi-tool to carry around every day that had bicycle repair stuff. I have my bicycle repair multi-tool and it lives on my bike. So I can do without that, but the rest of it is solid. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, it's a little big. Hopefully Gerber and SOG will catch up to Leatherman on building this class of tool that has the features a little more integrated rather than just rows and rows of tools in a few years, and hopefully there's something that's going to be a midway point between these two, because like I said, this is a little big for me and this is a little small. And I think just take a moment here to see if there's anything I'm forgetting. I mean, these clips are kind of useless. I don't know if I ever used the one on my Skeletool, but it's there. It's always fun to just play with if you're bored. Just click it and annoy other people. I think I mentioned this clip as another kind of potentially useless feature. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, thanks for watching.